Hello YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Kevin and this is the Red Pilling channel. So I want to discuss a terrible tragedy that happened in Minneapolis. A woman was shot dead um, in public. People saw it. That's how the video is that got trended. That of a woman that was shot dead in her car, as it was reported that she had tried to run over an ICE agent. The video, again, there's a lot of information that still hasn't come out. It's only been like a day, I believe this happened. So to me, it's gonna be like another George Floyd. The media's gonna rush to, to judgment, and then you have all this. So again, we only have limited facts right now, but what's being reported right now is a woman was shot dead after it's been reported that she tried to run over an ICE member. And of course, far left, that the anti-ICE people are freaking out, saying abolish ICE, and saying that he had no right to do that, and blah blah blah. So I watched the video, and again, there's still a lot we don't know. So you can only know so much with the video. But from what the video has shown for now, from what we have available, is that it looks like she was blocking traffic. So she was disorderly conduct, unhinged, violent threats. And while she was blocking traffic, you can tell a line of traffic. And look like the ICE member and some officers, I think it was ICE members, kind of was walking towards her. So I'm assuming they were going to arrest her for disorderly and for the charges she was committing. And so it looks like when the officer went by her, she starts to take off, looking like almost like dragging him, and he pulled the trigger and shot her in self-defense. So you can see the car you can see after she got shot, you can tell the car lost control and went onto the side, kind of crashed. So yes, that was a terrible watch for sure. And again, it's a tragedy. There's no other way to put it. However, I'm pretty sure this girl was a professional agitator. Again, the left is good at paying people to do these things, and the Soros money, I guarantee you these are all paid actors to do this. And let's face it, she was a pawn, and she was willing to put her life on the line to I believe to basically own ICE by being anti-ICE. And so believe she played stupid games and won stupid prizes. That's putting it bluntly. That doesn't mean I cheer for her death, though. See, there's a difference between me and the left. I don't cheer for people's death, because the situation's a tragedy. Because guess what? She has a child. You're right. That's what the left was outraged about. Oh, forget it. And, I'm not going to take the left seriously. Charlie Kirk has children too, by the way, that they're without their fathers, that one of your people shot. Right? So, again, the hypocrisy from the left. But that's the difference between us and the left, is we actually sympathize for her children too, because the child's, I think, an orphan now, because I think the father being reported is dead. Now the mother is dead. So, and, I don't know how young the child is or not, but I think the child's pretty young. So how do you explain that to a child? Your mother got shot, not obeying the officer. The whole thing is it's tragic. So I feel bad for the child. So that's the tragedy, and that's why I sympathize out of this. So I think we should have some sympathy, because, well, a child's affected by this, because now it's without their mom, and it was by the mom's own hand. I know I'm going to probably get a lot of hate for saying this, but it's a fact. And facts don't care about the feelings. However, so Trump watched it, but I mean, I saw Trump's tweet about it, and he's absolutely right, though. The reason this is happening is because the leftists keep abating them, putting their life in danger, and assaulting them, trying to prevent them from doing their jobs, which is to, you know, deport the illegals that Trump's supposed to do. Now, with agencies like this, tragedies are going to happen. This was a tragedy. But again, it was one to say it wasn't avoidable. It was an avoidable situation if the avoidable situation. So, of course, now the left is going to use this to abolish ICE. And there's already mass protests in Minneapolis because of this, and you're going to see more staged protests around the nation doing this. Nothing's organic about this, though. You know, I know there's actual organically anti-ICE leftists, but out there, but a lot of this are paid protesters. The left is raining in dough, causing mass protests to give you illusion that they're anti-ICE. First of all, Trump was elected to do mass deportations, which I feel like he has fallen short on that right now. But, so yes, I support ICE. Hate me. You can hate me all you want, but I support ICE. Let's face it, you wouldn't have to worry about ICE if people would just come legally. So that's all that's bluntly I'm gonna put it. And just like local police officers, if we wouldn't be assaulting them and causing havoc, putting their life in danger, you wouldn't see people being shot and getting killed. This is an unfortunate situation. Again, it's really unfortunate. Just like the George Floyd situation, the whole situation was a tragic. It was over a stupid counterfeit bill that led to this whole thing. So, I made a lot of, videos to talk about Tucker. And, well, again, here's the thing. Tucker, no matter what Tucker does and says, people are going to freak out. There's conservatives that don't think he's a real conservative. They think he's kind of a rhino. People think that why I do believe he's a conservative. Some people think he talks a little bit too much like a Democrat, and it ticks a lot of people off. But I think we know what it is. He has he definitely is a little bit conspiracical. He's kind of a conspiracy guy. He questions a lot of things, and I think I like Tucker overall because he pisses off everybody. And I think if he ticks off everybody, then we might all have to have a reality check sometimes, because that's what we're all sinners. We're all broken people. We're all, in the eyes of God, none of us are righteous. So it's and we all have to look at our own self in the mirror too. Yes, we want peace, but as conservatives, are we just as much part of the divide as the left is, though? I mean, you have Charlie Kirk that didn't, but we're a divided country. I don't believe the right's violent, no, but it's dividing. We're a divided country. And I think because of what happened to Charlie Kirk, you are going to see here's the thing. The left-wing violence is mostly on the left and will be. But you are going to see a little bit rise from the right going forward, especially after the post-Charlie Kirk assassination death. You're going to see people from the right to start justifying violence against opponents as well. It's going to happen. Not, I don't think very many, but as many, but it will happen, and it will be enough to notice. And that's the problem. That's the problem when you normalize violence. The left has normalized violence, and the problem is because they've normalized violence, don't be surprised if the right also thinks it might be justified too. Some on the right. Like, Christian conservatives will never cheer for a death. The whole so the idea that, Christian conservatives are cheering for this, no, they're not. I don't even think most conservatives in general, right-wingers, are cheering for this. Okay? It's a tragedy. At least rational people are not. Now, there are some that will. And I think because of what happened to Charlie Kirk, you might have some people being kind of semi-uncompassionate about the situation because, like, oh, she had it coming. Good job, ICE. So there are definitely some comments like that on X. And I don't know who Tucker's talking about here, but Tucker made a commentary article, and he said this was his response about the situation, particularly in Minnesota. A woman got shot in the face. Yes, yesterday's Minnesota ICE shooting. Yeah, the video was very violent and tough to watch. Please only click if you can handle it. Is providing plenty of material for conservatives to score political points. The victim shouldn't have blocked the road with her car. Hundreds of hysterical protesters launched into her typical routine last night, and liberal leaders like Jacob Fry, who immediately declared it's time for ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis, are behaving like children. That's all true. But it should be secondary to the tragedy of Renee Nicole Good, that's the girl's name, losing her life. The 37-year-old was an American citizen and reportedly the mother of a kindergarten-age child. Did we disagree with her views on immigration? He said probably yes. Tucker's always relatively been good on the immigration issue, but her death is a tragedy, regardless of her political affiliation, ideological beliefs, or who pulled the trigger. A woman got shot in the face. How come so few conservatives are viewing this story through a human lens? And why, when something similar like killing of Charlie Kirk happens on the other side, did many on the left celebrate because they thought political positions were wrong? We have a guess. Here's the thing with Tucker on this. It sounds like he's buying the narrative that violence is on both sides now. When Charlie was first shot and killed, it's like people would definitely use the cop-out answer, violence on all sides unacceptable. Well, it sounds like Tucker got a little bit blue-pilled a little bit. He's pretty red-pilled, in my opinion, still, but a little bit on this issue. He got a little blue-pilled, used a blue-pilled term by basically implying that the right is also celebrating the violence. Now, I don't know what he's seeing, but I've seen no celebration of this woman's death. Now, I don't know what he's seeing, but I mean, do you have some comments on X? I don't know if any statements, but it looks, I don't know. He thinks and that's true. I hope conservatives aren't using this just to score political points. I hope Trump doesn't either. I want Trump to take action. Okay? I don't want just conservative political points. I want action. Maybe that's what Tucker actually is meaning on the first part, is actually taking action so these things don't keep happening. It's going to take law and order. And I think it's so bad. I think Donald Trump needs to call in the Insurrection Act. And if the left calls him a dictator, go for it. You have nothing to lose at this point because they already think you are a dictator. So make them regret it, what they're doing. Or this is going to keep happening. We need order if we want to stop these situations from happening. But so I don't know. His first part isn't too bad here, and the middle part being on 37. Well, she's a young woman, so she's a millennial, like me. Just let me see. I'm 31, so yeah, just not 6 years older than I am. Just it's a tragedy. Again, a tragedy. She's a young woman, relatively young woman still, a mom, and she was shot for not obeying the orders and nearly intentionally running over an officer. As the video showed, like she was trying to escape him. So, and now she again has a child that is without a mom. So it's again a tragedy. Tucker's right. It's a tragedy, and so I think Tucker's taken a moderate approach here because it's it's an unfortunate situation. I think that's what this emotional thing is about. I guess what he wants conservatives to do is he wants it to look. I guess he's calling on conservatives to put politics aside for a moment and start looking at things with through a human lens. I guess she was still made in the image of God, even if she was radically insane, and that is true. It's whether we like to admit it or not, she got God still loved her. And that's the thing. Fortunately, she didn't know him. That's the sad part about it. So I don't know. I just, what do you guys think of Tucker's response? I mean, a lot of conservatives aren't happy with that response because it's like he's almost saying conservatives are cheering for violence as well against the left and celebrating the shooting. And I don't know where he's seeing it, but if there are people on the right that are cheering for it, then absolutely we should not be cheering for that because no one wants that to happen. We want them to comply and obey the officers. Let them do their job. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Tucker's trying to play both sides on this, and it's like he's agreeing with it's like he's trying to say yes, the liberals were being dumb. But I don't know. I feel like he's playing both sides on this, and it's ticking everybody off. And that's what's annoying people. So, and Tucker's ticking off a lot of people on the right now. And you have to wonder, is Tucker right? Should we examine ourselves a little? Should we all kind of examine ourselves a little bit as well? Or is Tucker just wrong on this particular part here? I think the part about viewing through a human lens, that's where he throws me off at. I mean, no one said that she was unhuman. To me, she played stupid games and she won stupid prizes because of her actions. So, I don't know. Hopefully when more information comes out, Tucker will kind of rethink his position, because I'm pretty sure you're going to learn going forward that this was probably something staged. Because she was a professional. She knew what she was doing. And that's the thing. And, Tucker likes conspiracies, so I hope he'll ask questions. Now, you're not going to get me to cancel Tucker. You're not going to get me to hate Tucker. I know there's effort for me to get me to hate him on him. I think he is missing the point a little bit on this, big time. I think he was kind of wrong on some of this stuff, but he's as much as a conservative as anyone else in this movement. Just because he doesn't say words you like to hear all the time doesn't mean he doesn't belong in this movement. And I still won't be pressured to cancel him or to be pressured to not watch him just because he says things that you may not always like to hear. Again, he's allowed to be wrong once in a while. I think he was kind of wrong on this because I feel like it was an emotional reaction. rather than someone like, you can tell, with someone who doesn't know all the facts yet and was making an emotional reaction out of it, which is kind of interesting for Tucker, of all people. So I don't know. And what do you think about this whole situation? And what do you think about Tucker's, Carlson's, response, to that? Anyway, let me know on the bottom what you think. But that's all I have for today. If you like this video, I guess, I mean, again, let me know what you think. I don't know if there's not much to like about this video. It's a tragedy, but let me know what you think on the bottom if you have anything to say. And if you like this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. They're putting the channel out.